Hello again, sleepyheads. PajamaKen here, and I have something to tell you. I love Dragon Ball. It is one of my favorite franchises growing up and still remains one to this day. So of course, over the years, I've played many video games based on Dragon Ball. I've played the Budokais, the Raging Blast, the Xenoverse, and the Kakarot. And like many of my Twitch followers know, Dragon Ball The Breakers, I know they are so tired of me streaming that, but that game is so darn fun to me. But there is one Dragon Ball game that not only completely caught me by surprise, but took the spot of my favorite Dragon Ball game. And some of you are gonna drag me for this, but I really don't care. It's Super Dragon Ball Heroes World Mission. Now this game has a bit of an interesting position in Dragon Ball games. You see, there's a whole subgenre of Dragon Ball card-based strategy games. This dates all the way back to Dragon Ball Z Legendary Super Warriors on the Game Boy Color. It would then be followed by Dragon Ball Z collectible card game on the Game Boy Advance. This only came out in the US as far as I've known. I don't think it came out in Japan. I remember playing that one as a kid, and while I did like the concept, it was very bad. It was a bad game. Next would be Dragon Ball Z Goku Densetsu on Nintendo DS. But wait, we gotta back up a little bit. In 1991, Bandai started producing physical trading cards based on Dragon Ball. And these will be bought from vending machines called Cardass. Any popular anime has had a series of these cards made. If you've gone around the internet and seen some fancy trading cards featuring your favorite characters, they are most likely Cardass cards. Now, initially, these cards were only meant to be traded, you know, kind of like baseball cards. But due to the popularity of card games like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh!, Cardass trading cards started to become actual playing cards with strategies built in. In 2005, Bandai created Data Cardass, and these were arcade machines that allowed you to take your physical cards and use them on the arcade machine. So think Skylanders, but with trading cards. The Dragon Ball Z Data Cardass game was released in 2005. And over time turned into Dragon Ball Heroes in 2010, and is now simply known as Super Dragon Ball Heroes. Now, Dragon Ball Heroes is a non-canon series. It has its own original characters, with characters from Dragon Ball all the way up to Super, and now Super Hero, the movie. And the plot, from what I saw, is very fan servicey. It's not too much, it's not tying into anything in the overall plot of Dragon Ball. It's its own side story thing. It's very multiverse-like, and I don't mean like Marvel Cinematic Universe multiverse. I mean more like DC Comics Crisis on Infinite Earth style multiverse, maybe with a mix of Marvel's What If. You have a bunch of different versions of the same character running around, meeting different versions of other characters, and it's not like Dragon Ball Online or Dragon Ball Xenoverse where they try to make some sense out of that with Trunks and the Time Patrollers. It's just wacky and I love it. The game has its own story arcs, one of which was adapted into a web series. Now, Super Dragon Ball Heroes is one of the most popular arcade games in Japan, and it spawned 3 ports to the 3DS being Ultimate Mission 1, 2, and X, all of which never saw a release outside of Japan. However, in 2019, Super Dragon Ball Heroes World Mission was released on Nintendo Switch and Steam globally. I was hesitant to get it because I didn't really know what it was about. So, I watched a few YouTube videos explaining what the game was, and I wasn't exactly sold on it, but it was on sale on the eShop for like $5. So I was like, why not? Now, after I made that purchase, I knew I had to have been locked in my room for at least a week. because the endless possibilities of team ups, strategies, and flashy things in this game are just mind blowing. There's over a decade worth of content in this game, from the missions to the cards. Oh my gosh, I just get such a rush of serotonin when I draw some new cards. You guys just do not understand. Now, the general gameplay is that you have a deck of 7 cards with their own power levels and unique abilities, and you take turns attacking your opponent. There's a timing system where if your bar is higher than your opponent, then your attack or your block is successful. Reduce your opponent's health down to 0 and you win. It's very simple. Now, a lot of people get turned off by this game, from the graphics to the gameplay. When a lot of people think of a Dragon Ball Z game, they think of something like Budokai Tenkaichi or something. They don't think of a strategy-based card game. And you know, that's fair. This game is not for everyone, but it's for me. Now, do take notice that both Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 and Dragon Ball Kakarot have modes that allow you to play turn-based card games. So clearly, Dragon Ball has some kind of card game appeal that we over here in the West are just not picking up on. If the game interests you, currently it's on sale on the Steam store for $5. I think $5 or $6. It's usually $60, which I know a lot of people are like, that is ridiculous. This game has like over 10 decades worth of content in it, okay? So like, how about this? I understand the price point of $60, but I also understand people not wanting to pay $60. But it's on sale on Steam for $5. A lot of times they'll go on sale in the eShop for like $5. If you think it's interesting, definitely pick it up on a sale. All right, in my closing statement, don't be surprised if you see this game on my channel in the future. Well, that's all the time I have for today. Be sure to like this video, also subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss a video. Until then, good night, sleepyheads.